assemblers. I decided to make you a video lesson of what we did in class today, so you can look back at it, and I can look back at it. And boy, I wish Louise Nevelson could look back at it. She is the artist that is inspiring this project, and she lived to be 99 years old, which I just think is incredible. And she would be very proud to know that we are going to work in the style of art that she did. She was one of the first really famous women artists at when she first started making art. Usually it was just men. So she's kind of a pioneer. I think that she's really worth talking about. She was spectacular. And everything that she did was huge. Like huge, you guys, huge. Like you could walk inside of it. Like big. Think like treehouse big. So I know we had our great I Spy collection, and let me put on my little spectacles here and spy what I have found around my art room, and then also the things I gave you in your bag when you picked up your supplies last week. And thank you, grown-ups, for driving the car and getting your artists to Mitchell School. I had missed the last pickup in November, so I am beyond thankful that you were able and willing to do this for me. Thank you for your flexibility. I also just realized I have a lot of spectacles on my head. Okay, so in this bag is like all kinds of found objects. Like, I'd love to see what you got. I know we all got different types of popsicle sticks and toothpicks and wood, different shapes and sizes of buttons. This is an old spool. It had thread on it. Sometimes they're made of wood. These are plastic. I mean, look at this bling bling thing. Like, I found this in my art room. I just thought it was kind of fun. I don't know how I'm going to glue it anywhere, but we'll get to the gluing part in a minute. I found some old blocks. I have some clothespins, and then these made me laugh because they're little chips of wood, but to me they look like crackers. Don't eat it. Okay. Oh look, a smaller one. Crackers and cheese. So that's what it reminded me of. I just was having fun with it. These are like oversized toothpicks, and then I bet you got these. Now, unwrap it. Go ahead, open it up, see what's inside. I wish it was something as exciting as like a puppy, but it's still a pretty cool shape. These used to be used, or I think still sometimes, I can't be that old, to eat ice cream. They came with your ice cream cups. So they're fun, right? Looks like a wooden peanut. Okay. So with all of these objects, I've got a fork. I found this really cool, like, metal number. I have a Matchbox car I'm going to use. I have more stuff right over here. So I've got, all kinds of doodads. I have a Matchbox car because the tire doesn't work, and I thought, like, this could be really cool to put into a piece of art. I have an old pair of scissors, and I have an old paintbrush. Like, I'm just going to add some of this stuff, but I'm going to ask a grown-up before I glue anything in, because you don't want to take something that accidentally might be needed in your house. Oops. Okay, so the first thing I was thinking about with Louise Nevelson in all the objects that we have is she makes amazing sculptures, but they are not tall. Like, I think when we think about a statue or a sculpture, we think that it has to be like really big and tall, and you can walk all the way around it and look up at it like, whoa, wow, that's so cool. Her work's not like that. It's huge and tall, but everything she does is about building out, not up. Okay, so instead of taking blocks and making a tower and a castle that get as tall as you can get it before it tips over, she instead takes all of these amazing objects and she puts them together in ways that she finds interesting. Like, she gets this aha moment by putting these things together. And she grew up in what's called a lumber yard, which means there was lots of wood around her. Her family worked with wood. So sometimes she would find old furniture that somebody just tossed away, and she'd break it apart. And now she's got this big, I guess I can't, for an example, hey, wow, let's use this in art. I mean, her stuff was big, you guys. Now, this is made of metal. This part, the seat, is made of wood. Louise Nevelson would have totally used my stool in one of her assemblages. I know it. So we're going to shrink our version down a little bit, only because I can't get a dump truck to all of your houses with giant pieces of furniture to glue. But I think we have the very next, even possibly better next thing. So in your bags were also these pieces of cardboard that I cut up for you. This is a really great canvas for us to make our assemblage on. Louise Nevelson used to put her assemblages into boxes or almost like shoebox lids, something that looked like that. It's like just picture a box. Again, that gets really big and really heavy. So doing this from home, like, we are going to figure out another way to do it. And this is a beautiful piece of cardboard. Like, it's not bent. I don't know. I really like cardboard. So what I'm going to do now with this cardboard is I'm going to think about it like shopping. So I'm like, before you go ahead and buy like a $1 million pair of shoes, you're going to try them on and make sure they fit. You aren't going to buy a wedding dress until you try it on because you want to love it. So instead of just pouring glue all over this and sticking stuff to it, I'm going to try it on. I'm going to see what I like and where I like it. So I can take all of these objects and I'm going to move them and I'm going to place them and I'm going to decide, where do I think these are going to be the most successful? I mean, maybe the car is up, maybe, I don't know. There's so much to think about. When we make an assemblage like Louise Nevelson did, it is important, and it's so hard as builders not to build tall. So instead, Louise would have never stood up her really funny clothespin man. She would instead lay it down, maybe on a different edge, but not tall, just out. Is that making sense? And I mean, you can tell a story with this stuff. It's like our brains all work so differently. So some of us are going to be very organized, and some of us are just going to like put this energy into it. Like, it's all different. It's all amazing. I am going to show you like a cooking show. Like, I have a half-baked cake in the oven. I went ahead and started a Louise Nevelson using my glue, which I will show you in a moment. But here is what I'm starting with so far. So this is lots of my I Spy collection. And you can see that some of them are stacked and overlapped. I had a piece of wood. I put some bubble wrap on there. A couple oversized toothpicks. Yes, a toothbrush. And a button. I've got some of those wooden crackers. I like things to balance on top of each other. I don't know yet. I'm not even sure what direction I'm going to hold it. Whoa, and you can see my toothbrush moved, because when you use wet glue, you have to keep it flat until it dries. So when you're gluing, make sure you're working somewhere where you can give it a nice nap afterwards so that it doesn't have to move, okay? The way that I glued these pieces on was with my handy dandy paintbrush. I gave you one of these guys a while ago, and if it doesn't look like this, it looks like something similar. You could also use a popsicle stick that's in your I Spy kit. You could use a cotton ball. You could use a Q-tip. You could use something around the house if you ask a grown-up what you have that could brush some glue onto your I Spy assemblage. Okay, so there's glue under all of these pieces. And if you notice, minus that little blob where my toothbrush moved, you really can't see the glue spilling out. You don't need a lot. You need enough, but not too much. You can always add more. I always say that when you squeeze out, like when you go to brush your teeth, you squeeze the toothpaste on your toothbrush. Speaking of toothbrushes, you can always get more toothpaste out of the tube, but you can't put the toothpaste back inside the tube. It doesn't work that way. So if you always remember that, like squeezing paint, squeezing glue, you can always squeeze a little more, but you certainly can't like take the paint and put it back in it just doesn't work, okay? So the glue I gave you was taped up like this. I hope it made it to you safe and sound. It's Elmer's glue. It will wash out of your clothes, so nobody has to worry. I'm going to unwrap it, take off the lid, and I'm going to keep the lid because I don't want this to dry out. This is good stuff, okay? And with whatever glue that's in there, you don't need, like I said, you don't need a lot. I'm just going to go ahead and get my brush gluey, but look at that drip. That would make a mess on my assemblage. I don't think Louise would like that. I'm going to wipe the drip on the lip of the cup, and that's plenty of glue on my brush. If I need more, I'll take another dip. So I'm thinking like, I think I'm going to add another one of those little wooden crackers, and I'm thinking about, I don't know, I want to break up this corner somehow. I want this whole thing to feel like I really thought about where I wanted to put things. Just like when an architect builds a city, like they think about where the buildings go. They don't just like put them all in one spot. That would be, ooh. So here I am, one of these wooden crackers that I won't ever eat because never eat art supplies. I'm brushing it, right, getting my glue on the back. So you see it's shiny there a little bit, okay? So gluing. And then I have a chance to look at this. Oh, my brush is tipping over my glue cup, so I'm going to set this like on a paper towel so I can keep using it but not make anything messy. So, let's see. What do you think? I want to think about where to put it. It doesn't have to stay a square. It could overlap. It could go on top of something. I don't want it to lean. I don't think I'm going to like the look of something like that. I might cover the texture I have right here. These 4 oversized toothpicks. They have a button overlapped already. Oh, I knocked it a little bit. This is why you're going to work flat. I'm trying to do this for the camera, and it doesn't always work out the way I'd like it to. But my wooden square is now like a little bit hanging off the edge, just enough to maybe wonder like, hey, where's that going? Where's it going? That gives like really good interest when you're looking at art. But I'm thinking like, yeah, I kind of like that. And in fact, looking at this, I have this string of beads that I found. I don't like that there, so guess what? I'm moving it because artists get to change their mind all the time. So if you like something, glue it down. If you like something and then you say, oh, I don't like that anymore, gently take it off. That was easy to do because beads come off of a plastic fork easy. I don't think, for example, I could get this wooden square. Oh, I guess I haven't glued him yet. But if he was stuck right here, I'm not going to be able to pull that one off as easily without leaving behind like a little bit of a rip. But just be very thoughtful before you glue. Just really think, is this what you want to do? Okay. I just made up that little rhyme. Alrighty, so the idea is to use as many of your I Spy collection and my I Spy collection I sent you as you want. The glue and the brush are going to help you really place your objects and where you want them to be. Listen to your imagination. It's going to tell you where it wants you to put stuff. And drive the bus a little bit. We talk about this like, do you like it this way? Do you like it this way? You know, move it around. Think about it. And so we're going to work on this. And next week, we're going to come together. We're going to add more. We're going to share them. And then we have to talk about how Louise Nevelson painted her assemblages. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but when you look through the stream and pictures that I post for you, I bet you're going to notice like one thing about the paintings or how she paints her assemblages. Like there's like one thing they all have in common. I don't know. You might notice it's like one thing. So maybe that's a clue. Okay, so have fun assembling. Be thoughtful. try it on before you glue it down, okay? Before you glue, is it really what you want to do? Have fun with it. Have a clean workspace. Be sure you can keep it safe so it can take a long nap when you're done working on it. And keep whatever you don't have time for or whatever you decide you don't want to use, keep it back in that bag I sent you, back in this, because you never know when you can use it again, and what you might have another idea, and you'll still have your things. Okay, Louise Nevelson, she rocks. You rock. This is going to be really fun. I'm really excited. This type of art is really, really fun for me. So I'm happy to be doing this with you. All right, I will see you soon. Email me or send me pictures anytime you want, but I will see you next week. All right, bye guys. Good job. Nevelson, Nevelson.